What is up, guys? Welcome back into the Millennial Prophet. Today this video is going to be breaking down every single step you need to be able to sell on eBay in 2025, from how to set up your account to how to list, how to ship, the supplies you'll need, feedback, returns, everything that you need to know about eBay. I'm going to be diving in this video. If you do want a little more further in depth, I actually just launched an eBay course. You can view that down below, first link in the description. Also, if you're in my reselling Discord group, Bread and Butter, you already have this course. It'll just be on your WAP dashboard. All right, so first off, you need to create an account. Obviously, if you already have a buying account, this is the same exact thing. There's no difference between a buying and selling account on eBay. Very simple to sign up. Just need a phone number, address, bank info, all that good stuff that anywhere you're going to sell is going to need. Once you sign up, it's important to know about selling limits. So when you're first starting out, you're actually only allowed to list up to 10 items and worth about $500, I believe. That's per month. They put these selling limits in place to stop scammers. So once you make some sales, they will raise those. I mean, mine are absolutely crazy high. Let me actually check. They just keep raising them more and more, like that you can't even touch it. Yeah, on one of my accounts, it's like $10 million a month or something. Like once you start making some sales, they will allow you to raise these and they'll just get so high that you can't even touch them. Also, it's important to note that this has nothing to do with the eBay store subscriptions. A lot of people think that if they just upgrade to the next eBay store, that it will unlock more listings for them, but this is completely separate from the selling limits. The selling limits are in place to prevent scammers and make sure that you're a legit seller. Also, if you've made some sales and you've hit your selling limit, you can also call eBay or message them on Facebook, eBay for Business, and ask for an increase, and a lot of times they will grant it. Next, kind of similar, is account holds. If you sell too much too fast, eBay will suspend your account and just ask you to verify some information. This is, again, nothing to worry about. This is just in place to prevent scammers and fraud on eBay. They've got a lot of good tools in place to prevent all these things. So unfortunately, even if you are doing everything legit, you may have to deal with some of these things. So just submit whatever they want. Sometimes they want invoices. Sometimes they want tracking numbers just to make sure you're getting things to buyers. Overload them with information, send them everything they want, and they'll unlock your account. No big deal. I've had this happen to me a couple times. And also at first, eBay is going to hold your payments for 21 days until you make a decent amount of sales, and then they'll start unlocking your funds immediately. This is, again, just something in place to prevent scammers. All right, so now that you've created your account and you understand the account holds and the selling limits, let's talk about the supplies you're going to need to start your reselling business. You're going to need a computer or a phone, a scale, a ruler or yardstick, poly mailers, strapping tape, a tape gun. I would highly recommend getting a tape gun, boxes, a printer. Once you start making more sales, I'd recommend a thermal printer so you don't have to pay for ink. And I've linked everything I use down below, so if you want to check that out, a lot of good deals down there as well. Next, just briefly mentioning eBay fees. So eBay fees are going to vary depending on the category that you're selling in. Typically, they're anywhere between 6 and 15%, but some categories can go all the way up to 20%. When calculating my profit, I usually just take out 15% to be safe because most categories are around 10 to 13%. So if you take out the 15%, then you should be safe in your margins. All right, now that you have your supplies, let's show you how to list an item on eBay. I'm just going to go through an example. I'm going to be listing the Cincinnati Reds 47 brand hat, and I'm just going to come to the eBay app, and I'm going to search Cincinnati Reds 47. This is an MVP hat. Hats are a different game, so it is kind of confusing because there's a lot of different styles, and you're not always going to find the exact style. I'm just going to find a similar one and kind of scrolling through here to see what the solds are looking like. So anywhere between $25 and $30. We're going to go to this one here. The beautiful thing about listing on eBay is you don't have to make things from scratch. A lot of people want to make things from scratch, but I'm already going to find something that's sold and then sell one like this on this. So I'm going to scroll down here, and I'm going to keep scrolling because it's way down. I'm going to click sell one like this, and it's going to take their item specifics. It's going to take their title. I'm going to talk about each one of those. So you can see the title here. We want to make sure we use all the characters. They did a pretty good job, except I need to adjust for this one. So this is a script Reds. I'm actually going to put script down here because of the script nature of what is on that. MVP, it's not gray. It is a Cooperstown Classic, so I will leave that in there. It's actually blue and red, so I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to just put blue, and then I'm going to put cap in at the end. Also, if you can't get all of your characters in the title, you can actually get them down here in the item specifics. The item specifics actually get searched as well. You're going to want to select your condition new, but see how it also selected our category already by doing sell one like this. Then you can see all of these. Obviously, I need to edit these for this exact hat. It is unisex. Pretty much everything else is good to go in here, so it already pulled all those. And then you've got your description here. eBay's got this new AI where you can just click use AI description, and it will put everything in there for you and make your own description, which is kind of nice because I've never really worried about descriptions. I've always kind of just put the title in. And then price, it seemed between 25 and 30, so we're going to go 30 on that sucker. Then you can choose between your shipping. I have some shipping policies set up. So for this one, I would just use the Ground Advantage. You don't have to use shipping policies. I'll go more into shipping when we get to that, but this is more about listing. There's many different ways to ship things, but Ground Advantage is going to be what you want to use, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. Next, I'm going to take pictures. These are going to be horrible because it's going to have my outline for this behind it and my laptop. So get a better photo studio. I've got a video made on how to take good pictures for things and how to make a cheap photo studio. So obviously this is just for an example. So we are done there. You have to take at least 3 pictures. Once those load in, we are good to go, and that's how you list an item on eBay. You can also choose if you want to promote your listings. If you do, I wouldn't go any more than 2%. I personally think it's just a money grab from eBay, and I've never seen anyone have any more success doing more than that. So then I would just click list item, and I'm good to go. And next, shipping, the thing that probably trips them people up the most, but do not get discouraged from it. It is super easy. eBay has their own shipping labels on the platform, so once an item sells, you can generate a label there. They've got good deals with USPS, FedEx, and UPS where they're discounted, so never go to the carriers and pay their rates. You're going to be paying half or less than half of what they are going to charge you at those places. It is possible that if you sell something, you can go to those places and pay their rates and then upload the tracking into eBay, but that's just idiotic, and there's no reason to do that when you can save money by just printing your own shipping labels, and that's what I'm going to show you how to do. So first off, when you're listing the item, you need to choose between free, calculated, or fixed shipping. How would I choose between this? Well, eBay has trending rates on eBay, so what things are going for. That hat was going for anywhere between $25 and $30, so I'd say the trending rate was about $30 on it. So you need to view this as a total price, and you need to always be factoring in what things are going to cost to ship to make sure that you're still making a profit at this trending price. So if it was trending at $30, I'd want to do $25 plus $5 shipping or $30 free shipping, and I always find it easier just to do free shipping personally. Now, how can I know what things are going to cost to ship before they sell is probably your next question, and that's very easy because you can just use the eBay shipping calculator on their website, and you can put in the weight and dimensions of items from different zip codes to different zip codes, and it will tell you exactly what each service is going to cost to ship. So when you're starting out, this is a great tool to use to learn what things cost to ship. Put in the worst case scenario. So for me, Ohio to California is my worst case scenario. So I'd want to put in an Ohio zip to a California zip and then be able to bake that into the price to make sure that I'm making a profit. Now, when you go to ship something, it's important to note that there's no right way to ship something. It could be completely different because, like I said, it's all based on location. And something going cross country is obviously going to cost more than something going close. So that would be more likely to use FedEx or UPS if it's going further than if it's going close. I'm likely going to just use USPS Ground Advantage. USPS Ground Advantage is going to be your friend, and I would highly recommend selling things under 1 pound because you're going to use it 100% 100% of the time. If you're selling things around 2 to 3 pounds, you're probably going to use it 90% of the time as well. I've got an entire eBay shipping for beginners video where I dive into eBay shipping for about 18 minutes. So feel free to check that out if you need some more help on this. But anyways, I'm going to show you guys an example. I'm going to print a shipping label for an order that just came in. All right, so I just sold this North Carolina Tar Heels hat that I'm going to be shipping. So first off, you need to decide what you want to ship it in. Do you want to ship it in a poly mailer? Do you want to ship it in a box? Again, I have entire shipping videos, walkthroughs on how to ship all different types of items. This hat sold for $35, so obviously I don't want to send it in a bag. I'm going to want to send it in a box. This is an 8x6x6 box. So I've got my box, I've got my tape gun. Tape that sucker up. Put the hat in the box, tape it up. Then I'm going to want to come over here to the shipping scale. Going to check my weight, 8 ounces. Going to check my dimensions. 8x6x6 was already on the box. I don't know why I'm measuring it. Now that I've got it boxed up and I've got the weight and dimensions, I'm going to come over to my computer and print the label. You can also print the label on your phone, but I typically like to do it from my desktop because it's just easier. So you're in your orders on eBay and you're here in awaiting shipment. I can see this hat right here. All you have to do is click get shipping label. We already pretty much have the weight and dimensions in there. 8x6x6. Ground Advantage. All you have to do now, purchase shipping label, print label. Whoops, swing and a miss. Easy as that. Slap the label on the box and we're good to go. Print your own labels on eBay. Stop paying for those carrier rates. Next, feedback. So again, if you have a buyer account, it's the same thing. So if you already have buyer feedback, it will show up the same in the same area as the seller feedback. But if you only have buyer feedback, it's kind of weird. eBay has a thing that once you get a seller feedback, it kind of boosts your listings. It's kind of like a secret, but I had a friend a couple years ago that just started an eBay account, listed a bunch of things, couldn't sell anything. I had him list an item, $1 local pickup. I bought it. We scanned the local pickup code, completed the sale, and later that night he sold something, and then the next morning he sold something. So I personally think it's something in the algorithm, but if you don't have any seller feedback, I would recommend listing something for $1, having a friend or family member buying it with that local pickup, and it should boost your listings. I don't know why, but it is definitely a thing because I've done it with a couple people. Other than this, I would not worry too much about feedback. There's going to be bad buyers. That's just how it is. There's a lot of entitled people out there, especially with Amazon and buyers thinking they can get away with anything. I personally hold firm on my ground. I'm not going to let them use feedback to extort me, which is actually against eBay policy, but some buyers are able to still get around that. So personally, I don't worry about feedback that much. I have like 99.5 or 99.6 on my accounts. At the end of the day, once you start selling a bunch of stuff, you're going to get negative feedbacks, but you're going to get so many positives, it doesn't really matter. As long as you're over like 95%, nobody's even looking at feedback, and it doesn't affect your sales whatsoever. So next, where can I find inventory? Where should I source? Check out my Flipping from Zero series if you haven't already. I started in this series by going to thrift stores, by going to liquidation stores, by going to Goodwill bin stores, places like that where I can get inventory cheap. And it's a great series that you can replicate because you can get those items really cheap, which allows for really good margins. Actually, before I went to those stores, I started by finding things in my house and selling things I didn't need anymore. So a lot of people have a lot of stuff at home that they don't need anymore, so you might as well make some money off of it. Then you can take that money to the thrift stores, the bin stores, the liquidation stores, and then maybe, just maybe, you can get into retail and online arbitrage like I'm doing on this channel. If you are ready to take that next step though, bread and butter, my personal Discord community, we are constantly calling out daily in-store and online leads, and also that eBay course is included in that as well. Next, returns. So if you sold on Amazon or bought on Amazon, you know that the sellers have no choice on there. They have to accept returns, no questions asked. That's actually not the case on eBay, and a lot of people think that you have to offer free returns to make sales. I've been selling on eBay for over 16 years now, and I've never allowed free returns. I have returns turned off. The only way someone can return something is if it's for not as described or damaged, which, yeah, you get a couple people here and there throughout the year that know the system and they finesse it and they wrongly claim something's damaged or not as described, but that maybe happened a few times last year. So I would rather have them off and prevent more of the returns if I can. And last year on 6,500 transactions, I only had 14 returns, and probably 10 of those were my fault. So if I mess something up, yeah, I'm going to accept a return. But by having returns off, if they open a return for didn't like or doesn't fit, that's not my problem. I've put the measurements and everything in the listing. I've listed everything accurately, so I'm able to decline that return. Obviously, you have to do what's best for your business, and I know a lot of people that accept free returns, but personally, I just don't want to deal with it, and I don't see a way that it's going to increase my sales enough by having to accept those other returns to make it worth it. Next, so once you start making a decent bit of sales, you can try to strive for becoming an eBay top-rated seller. To become a top-rated seller, you must meet this criteria. So basically, just get things done on eBay, get things shipped out on time. Don't let those cases go unresolved. Pretty common sense things, and you will get top rated. And top rated does give you a little bit of a boost in the algorithm. Next, let's talk about the eBay International Shipping Program. This one also has some criteria that you have to meet. Once you meet this criteria, I highly recommend opting into the program, as it can help pump some more sales and getting you a lot more customers from around the world. A lot of people may be hesitant because they're like, oh, I don't know how much international shipping is going to cost. But this is very simple. It's a whole program eBay has that you just ship stuff to their warehouse and then they ship it out from there. So all you have to do is pay to ship it to their place, and I think it's in Illinois, and then the buyer pays the shipping from there. So it's a pretty cool program that they have going on. I've got an entire video on that as well that I'll link above, but there's really no reason to not opt into that program. Lastly, how to have success on eBay. So I've grossed over $300,000 each of the last few years. Here's some of the things that really worked for me and helped grow my business to the next level. Number one, listing daily. This is the number one key to grow an eBay store, in my opinion. Ever since I started listing daily, I was making a ton more sales, and it just seemed like my stuff was getting viewed more. It really is one of the biggest things you can do to show eBay that you're constantly staying active, so that they will boost and pump up a lot of your other listings. Next is actually shipping daily. This is just something I've done over the last year. I'm not actually sending my orders out daily. It's actually more just printing my labels every single night. So I have 2 business handling days on. So I ship Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but I do print my labels every single day. And I've seen an uptick in sales actually since I started doing that. Again, it's just about being active and showing eBay that you're active on their platform. And for some reason, it seems like more sales follow when you do that. Next is promoting listings, not promoting all of my listings. And like I said, I only promote at 2%, and it's only on items that have a lot of competition. If they don't have a lot of competition, then I don't see the need to promote. Next one, keep buy costs low and buy good selling through items. What's a good selling through item? Well, it has to do with sell-through rate. I'll put up that formula on the screen, but I've got an entire video on that one as well. Again, I'd love to go all in depth on all of this at once, but it would be like an hour-and-a-half video, so that's why I make separate videos for them all. However, the course has everything all packed into it, kind of just organized in order. But anyways, don't just buy stuff to buy stuff. Make sure you're buying good selling through inventory, stuff that's actually selling on eBay. You're going based off of research. When I showed you guys how to list that product on here, I wasn't just pulling a price out of thin air. I was looking at what other solds were, looking at what other actives were, and that's how I was able to come up with a price for that. And you need to do that before you buy the item. And you also need to factor in the shipping and the profit margins. I see too many people not factoring in the profit before they buy an item, and then it sells. They didn't factor in the shipping, they didn't factor in the fees, and before you know it, they're losing money on the item. And lastly, have patience. A good formula to go off of on eBay is you can expect to sell 1 item per day per 100 listings that you have. That is very accurate. I have around 2,400 listings right now, and I sell between like 15 and 30 items per day. And that's if you're sourcing pretty good selling through inventory also. But eBay is not a get-rich-quick game. It's going to take time. All right, so that should wrap it up. Again, if you're interested in bread and butter or the eBay course, you can check that out. First link in the description. Hopefully this video and my channel is able to help you guys learn different ways to make money selling things online. There's money to be made everywhere, guys. Let's go get it. Thank you for watching The Millennial Prophet.